category po, which is the Civil Society Organization category. This session will be led by Ms. Adelina Sevilla Alvarez of TRRNet Philippines, and also she will be discussing the People's Organization category. Good afternoon po, Ms. G.
Good afternoon. Naririnig po ako. Good afternoon. Ah, ilan po ang participants? 219 participants. Before I proceed to the checklist, I will just present a short PowerPoint, if you will allow me. I understand, mas madami po tayo ngayon. As a representative of Disaster Risk Reduction Network Philippines, ako po ay naatasang mag-present sa inyo ng checklist na na-review, na-revise, at pinagsunugan po ng kilay at madaming oras ang ginugol para mapaayos po lahat itong ating checklist, no? Okay, on the screen, I am tasked to present the special category on the civil society organization. At ako po, as I mentioned, I am from my organization, which is the Center for Community Journalism and Development, CCJD, which is a member of the Disaster Risk Reduction Network Philippines. Ang DRRNet Philippines po ay isa sa mga na-select na representatives to the National DRRM Council. If you already know, kami po ay, as you may know, as you may know, we have been representing the civil society organization sa National DRRM Council since 2013. Dapat na nga po palitan na siguro kami. Next slide. Siguro, gusto ko lang pong magbigay ng konting paliwanag kasi nabanggit kanina ni Alex during the presentation of the guidelines na meron po tayong minimum requirements, no, for local DRRM councils and offices. Ito po ang anim na naka-flash dyan po sa screen. Kailangan daw po talagang may established and organized local DRRM councils. Meron po dapat established LDRIM office. Meron din pong functional and established operations center. At dapat po may permanent, designated, and functional DRRM officer. At meron pong dapat LDREAM plan na na-approve and adopted covering the assessment year kung ano po yung ating ina-assess sa GK. And of course, the last but not the least of the minimum requirements ay meron po dapat membership of non-state stakeholders in the LDREAM Cs. Sino po yung non-state stakeholders? Ito na po yung aking pinag-uusapan, yung ating civil society organizations. Kasama na po dito ang people's organization. So, bakit ba nasama yan sa minimum requirements? Bakit ba kasi pag hindi po na-comply yung minimum requirements, talaga pong disqualified ang local government unit sa kanila pong application for compliance dyan po sa ating Gawad Kalasag, no? So bakit nga po ba? Ano ba ho ang kahalagahan ng civil society organization? So allow me to explain a bit, no? Baka hindi pa ho tayo usap in the past or even in the recent past, no. I have always been tasked by the Gawad Kalasag program to provide some context and maybe some information about my sector, the civil society sector. So ano nga po ba ang civil society? What is this about? Next slide. Ang civil society po ay isang malawak at malaking na tinatawag nating non-government, no? Ito po ay organizations not associated with the government. Ang civil society po ay maaring ito po ang mga kasama, no? Non-government organizations, academies, or research institutes, faith-based groups, hindi po religious but the faith-based groups. Kasama na din po dyan ang trade unions or cooperatives, the private sector, o mga asosasyon po, for example, ng mga homeowners, kasama rin po dyan. Next slide. So, ito pong ating CSO na tinatawag, usually po ay sila po ay non-stock, non-profit. So, hindi po sila inorganize para kumita or magkaroon ng kaperahan, no? But the civil society is noted for the members' skills and expertise, no? Pati na po ang mga kapabilidad, no? Expertise, skills, and capabilities. Ang CSO din po ay noted for their partnership and networking mechanisms. Magaling daw po ang CSO makikipag-partner, makikipag-network, kung kani-kaninong organisasyon. Ano? Kasi doon din po sila humuhugot ng support para maipatupad ang kanilang mga programa. Next slide. Ang CSOs po ay known for the multiple roles, no? Ang CSOs po ay nakikipag sa society promoting their advocacies, no? And they offer alternative policies for the government. Ano ba 'yon? Bakit nagbibigay pa sila ng alternatibong polisiya? Para po pakinggan din sila ng government at baka hindi nakakasama 'yon sa policies or sa mga agenda ng ating gobyerno. At ito'y ang pinatutupad nila sa pamaraan ng advocacies, pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga iba't ibang ahensya, sinusulong ang aming pong mga programa. Ang CSOs din po ay kilala sa kanilang role na nagbibigay ng impormasyon. CSOs become a source of information. Ang impormasyon na amin pong pinamimigay o pinamumudmod sa bayan ay yun lang pong tama at saka karapat-dapat, no? Kami rin po ay nagbibigay ng serbisyo, especially to the poor and underserved sa lawak po ng ating bansa at sa napakarami nating komunidad, lalo na po sa mga grassroots levels, ay napakadami pong hindi nararating kung minsan ng ating mga gobyerno, mga programa ng gobyerno. So dyan po pumapasok ang mga civil society organizations. We provide information, we provide service. At isa naming role ay kami po ay nasa forefront in defending citizens' rights, no? Lalo na po kung ito po ay para sa pagpapatingkad ng mga basic rights, no, ng ating pong mga mamamayan. Yes, kita natin kung anong ibig sabihin nun ng civil society organization. Pero ito pong ating tawag mo to, yung itong ating civil society ay hindi naman po bagong-bago, no? Ang civil society po na tinatawag natin sa Pilipinas ay um, nagsimula po ito kahit po nung unang panahon pa. Ang sabi nga po, during the Spanish colonial times, meron pong tinatawag na philanthropy groups, no? Or mga kooperatiba na inorganisa ng mga ilustrados. Ito po yung mga may mga kaya, mayayaman nung panahon ng Espanyol, colonial times. Maliban doon ay ang simbahan po at ang mga ibang faith-based denominations ay nakapag-establish ng mga private schools, no? Mga community hospices. Ito po yung mga maliliit na hospitals, kumbaga. Pati po mga religious organizations, especially in the rural area. Ang first generation daw ng NGO ay sumulpot noong 1940s, no? At ito po ay talagang nagtrabaho para ho sa implementasyon ng mga socio-economic services for the farmers, the labor force, unwed mothers, and abandoned children. So, konting background ulit. Next slide. Ang term na civil society ay lumabas po in the late 1980s. Doon sa nakwento ko kanina mula nung panahon ng Espanyol hanggang pumasok na po ang mga in-establish ng mga simbahan o pamahalaan, ay nagkaroon na rin ng mga radical organizations in the 60s, no? Ewan ko, buhay na ho yata ako noon. At ang mga radical organizations noon po pushed really for fundamental changes in the societies. Ang mga NGOs po ay pumasok po sa madami pong mga lugar, geographical or areas na yung kung saan po sila sakop ng kanilang advokasya na ang tingin nila ay meron pong kakulangan sa government presence, no? At ito po nga pong term na civil society ay lumabas na sa Philippine Development Language in the late 1980s. Late 1980s. Fast forward na po ako. Next slide. Sa Pilipinas po ngayon in 2020 ay next slide, CJ. Meron na po daw 378 500,000 CSOs, no, in the Philippines. Ito po ay base sa 2021 CSO Sustainability Index for the Philippines. Dinivelop po yung index na yon ng USAID kasama ang kanilang partner, Code NGO. Ang Code NGO ay ang Caucus of Development NGO Networks. So, madami na po ang CSO sa buong Pilipinas. 2020 po itong figure na to, 378, 500,000. Can you imagine? Ang dami na po. So, ano bang basihan kung bakit masyado namang pinatitingkad ang mga CSOs? Meron po akong sa site na tatlong mahahalagang legal basis. Ito po ay ang isa ay ang Constitution, ang Philippine Constitution of 1987. Meron po tayong dalawang artikulo, Article 2, Section 23, na talaga pong may mga provisions about the promotion of NGOs or sectoral organizations. Article 23 naman po, Sections 15 and 16, ay pinahahalagahan po ng Estado ang role of independent people's organizations to pursue their collective means or interests. At ang Section 16 of the same article ay pinakikita na ang right of people and their organizations to participate in decision making. Napakahalaga ho ng Philippine Constitution of 1987 because it was the provisions highlighted the importance of people's participation and the role of civil society in nation building. Ang isa pa pong batas na nagbigay din po ng malaking recognition sa CSO ay ang RA 7160. Ito po ang Local Government Code of 1961. So, ang batas na po ito ay provided for a more responsive and accountable local government structure instituted through a system of decentralization, underscoring people's participation at various local levels. Dito ho, nung panahong yon, nabuo po ang mga different local special bodies. I don't know if you still remember this, pero yan po yung tinatawag na mga ano ba to, special bodies within the government structure kung saan po pwedeng mag-participate ang mga non-government organizations. Ang ilang na naaalala ko ay yung ating Bids and Awards Committee, ang local school board, nabanggit yun kanina ni Seo sa kanya pong category for school, ang local health board. So isa rin po yan, ang Public Safety and Order Council. So madami na pong tinatag within the government, especially the local government units, kung saan po pwedeng mag-participate ang non-government organizations. So, ang isang hong batas, of course, we're talking about the RRM, is our Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management of 2010. So, next slide. Yes. Ito po yung ang ating batas, PDRRM system ay natatag through the task, no? Through RA 10121. Approved po ito in 2010 and effectivity po niya ay June 24 of 2010. So, ano po yung mga salient features? I'm sure alam na natin lahat ito, but let me just highlight this, no? Ang salient features po ng ating RA 10121 ay nilagay ko lang sa tatlong salient features. One is the empowerment of the local government units. Di po ba? Ang ating local government units ay talaga pong napakalakas na po ng kanilang autonomy or ang kanilang pagiging pinalakas po siya ng madaming provisions of our law. At na-highlight din dito po sa ating RA 10121 ay ang partnership ng sa local government unit, especially ng civil society organizations, especially sa usapin ng disaster risk reduction and management, no? Ang isa pang salient feature ay yung pong adoption and implementation of a integrated comprehensive DRRM program, incorporating all this, the program in the development plan at various levels of government. So, andyan dyan po yung ating local DRRM plans, yung ating pong climate and disaster risk assessment, for example. Lahat po ay pinasok na po dyan sa ating batas at na-mention yan. Meron din pong 14 on the allocation and utilization of the local DRRM fund, national DRRM fund, no? So, reporting mechanisms ang nandoon. Siyempre, meron po tayong mga provisions on the allocation and utilization of the funds, but very highlighted dito sa ating batas ay yung pong pagre-report. Paano ba ginagamit, no? At paano pinapaalam yung paggamit ng pondo. Okay? Sa next slide po, pakikita ho natin na very apat talaga yung key players under RA 10121. National, the national government, the local government, the civil society, and this is made up of many categories, and of course, community. Hindi ho natin maisasantabi ang role ng community dyan po sa ating RA 10121. Sa ating pong batas, sa Section 3 of RA 10121, dinefine po dito ang civil society organization. Next slide. Ang sabi po sa RA 10121 Section 3, ang civil society organizations daw po ay itong mga ito: non-government organizations, professional associations, foundations, independent research institutes or the academe, community-based organizations, tinatawag natin pong CBOs, faith-based organizations, ang social movements or yung mga katulad po ng mga samahang, malalaking samahan, no? Movements ang tawag natin doon. And labor unions or cooperatives, pati na po ang people's organizations. So, yan po ang definition ng civil society organization sa ating RA 10121. Mahalaga ang participation po ng CSO. Makikita po sa different sections of the batas. We have Section 2, meron pong Section 5, Section 11, Section 12, no? Ang andyan po at hina-highlight ang CSO participation. Especially Section 2, sabi po, Polisiya of the state to adopt a disaster risk reduction approach that is holistic, comprehensive, integrated, and proactive in lessening the socio-economic and environmental impact of disasters, including climate change, and promote the involvement and participation of all sectors and all stakeholders concerned at all levels, especially the local community. Kaya po, very na-emphasize, underscore ang ating pong key players in the implementation of DRRM CCA. Ang OCD din daw po ay tasked to create enabling environment for substantial and sustainable participation of the CSOs, private groups, volunteers, and communities, and recognize their contributions in the government's disaster risk reduction efforts. Nasa Section 9 po yan. Ang isa pong programa, ito pong ating Gawad Kalasag, Seal of Excellence, ay isang pamaraan, isang plataforma kung saan pinatutupad ng OCD ang mandato na binigay sa kanya ng batas sa Section 9. Membership of the CSOs in the NDRIMC and in the local DRRMCs, pati na po sa Barangay DRRM Council Committee, Barangay DRRM Committee. LDRIMOs are mandated to develop, strengthen, and operationalize mechanisms for partnership and or networking with the private sector, CSOs, and volunteer groups. Okay? Meron pa po akong dalawang gustong i-highlight. Ito po daw sa CSOs ay mahalaga po ang consultations. That's the next slide. No? Consultations with key stakeholders is required with respect to identification, assessment, and prioritization of hazards and risks, development of a manual of operations for volunteers, and the formulation of implementing rules and regulations on the Act. So, mahalaga po yung tinatawag nating consultation sa mga different stakeholders in the community. Isa rin pong sinasabi, maliban sa konsultasyon, ay yung po multi-stakeholder participation. Lagi pong binabanggit yan, yung participation in the development and updating and sharing of disaster risk reduction management information system, pati po yung GIS. Kasama na po dyan yung paggawa ng risk maps at saka po nakalagay po dyan sa ginagamit po yung mga mapang yan sa pag-planning, pati po sa decision making, lalo na po sa paggawa ng polisiya. Yun naman pong CSO participation ay kailangan pong magkaroon naman ng sistema or a system of accreditation para ho base certified sila na sila po ay pwede bona fide, kumbaga members of the civil society sector. Kaya po meron pong system of accreditation, no? Meron din pong tinatawag tayong Reserve Corps. Ito ay ikikwento sa atin sa susunod na categories, no? Pati na rin po ang private sector. Paano ba sila nakikilahok sa ating pong implementasyon ng DRRM programs or projects or activities? Yan po, no? So, ang CSOs po, sabi ko nga, ay key partners in DRRM. The next slide. So, yan pong ginawa namin noon. Cooperation, coordination, collaboration. The 3 C's kung saan po gumagalaw ang civil society. Kami po ay nakiki-cooperate, kami po ay nagko-coordinate, at lalo na po gusto namin may kolaborasyon. Ang CSOs po, given the framework of our DRRM management system, ay talaga pong nasisiyahan kami at kami po ay na-acknowledge and recognize as key partners in DRR. We play key formal and informal roles with the rest of the stakeholders as mandated by the Act in building safe, prepared, and resilient communities. Kaya po, uulitin ko sa next slide, ay ito pong minimum requirements na ito ay amin pong sinasandalan, ano? Inuulit ko lang yung minimum requirements. So, mahalaga na yung membership po ng non-state stakeholders ay nasa LGCs, no? Okay, pupuntahan ko na po ang checklist. Nilabas na ni CJ ang checklist. Apat lang naman po ang criteria. Sa ating pong checklist, apat lang naman po ang makikita ninyo mamaya-maya. Sisimulan lang namin ng isa-isahin. But there are only four main uh, criteria. Ito po yung organization, accreditation, and membership, institutional capacities, and sustainability, no? So, isa-isahin ko po. Sa organization, ito po yung tinatawag nating sa number one, kasi yung organization ay bin-breakdown po sa madaming punto. Organizational profile, number one. Yung organizational profile, ayan po. Ano po ba ang ibig sabihin ng organizational profile? Diyan po makikita ang vision, mission, and goals. Can you go up a bit? Yes. Vision, mission, and goals. Ano po yun? Ano po ba ang, bakit mahalagang makita natin ang vision? Ang vision, mission, and goals ay dapat pong naka-align. Ano bang tawag natin sa panlantaw ito sa Mindanao eh? Panlantaw, the vision. Dapat po ay aligned with the promotion of disaster risk reduction, which is, of course, alam na natin na ito ay ang systemic effort to analyze and manage the risks. At makikita din po natin ang organizational structure. Dapat po makikita sa organizational structure ay sino po ang kasama, sino po ang involved sa organization. Kailangan po makita natin yung pangalan at ito po ay makikita sa mga documents, no? Documentation na ipipresent sa atin ng mga organisasyon na gustong sumali sa GK. Makikita po yung official name, date of establishment, meron po ba silang board of directors or trustees, meron po bang legal representative, baka meron pang ibang office or designation. Maganda ho makita kung sino-sino po ang members ng organisasyon, ng civil society. Yung pong board of trustees or directors ay nararapat lang maging actively engaged sa organisasyon. Documented naman ito sa mga minutes ng mga meetings, pati po sa mga madaming activities na ginagawa nila. Makikita po ang iba't ibang reports, no? After activity report. Certificate of registration with the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC, or meron pa po ba siyang registration sa kunwari po ay CDA, the Cooperatives Development Authority. Baka po kasali din siya sa DTI as a, what do you call this, private corporation or foundation, things like that. So, lahat po yan ay binigyan natin ng isang punto for a total of 4 points. Okay? Sa 1.3 ay doon naman makikita ang scope of work, yung geographical areas of work. Ito po ay makikita po ang base or coverage. Saan ba nakalagay ang kanilang opisina? Meron ba silang operations within their region? Ito po ba ay kasama sa province, city, or municipality? Meron din po ba siya sa nearby geographical areas? So, mahalagang makita natin po ang kanilang GIS, kung meron sila. Or kung wala naman pong GIS, baka po yung equivalent as proof of main office location mapa, kung meron makikita doon. Makikita naman ngayon sa mga Google Maps, no? They can provide that. 1 point po yun. Mahalaga din ho na merong Maganda rin po na meron silang memorandum of agreement or memorandum of understanding with the barangays of the city or municipality within the province kung saan sila po operate or where they implement their programs, projects, and activities. Maganda rin po na meron po silang letters of agreement or certification with partner organizations showing their operations in the province, for example. Yung next to MOV, maganda ho kung makita din na baka naman sila ay nag-ooperate din within the region. Kaya may 1 point. At yung sa next ay outside of the region, 1 point. Memorandums of agreement or understanding with barangays of the city, municipality outside the region, or letters of agreement with partner organizations operating in other provinces outside of the region. 1.4, ito yung scope of operations naman. So, lahat po ito, total of 16 points for the organizational profile. Yung scope of operations, we will see that meron sila dapat mapakitang work and financial reports for the past 3 years. Makakakuha siya ng maximum of 4 points, no? Lalo na po kung meron siyang mga documentation such as the progress reports, annual reports, attendance sheets, meron pong photo or video documentation. Pinakikita lang po nila na meron silang partner communities, no? Maganda rin po mapakita na ang kanila pong mga target communities, no, ang tinatawag namin target beneficiaries, ay nagpa-participate po yung mga sectors katulad ng women and children or women and children and youth, persons with disability, siguro kahit pregnant women or mothers, the elderly or senior citizens, indigenous peoples, fisher folks, farmers, informal sector, laborers, among others. Labing apat po yan. And I will discuss that later, no? Pag PO na po ang category. 2 points lang po ang pwede natin ibigay kung meron nga po siyang work and financial plan pero for the past 3 years, pero hindi po masyadong targeted ang kanilang partners kung sino ang kanilang nakikipag-ugnayan sila kung kanino-kaninong sektor. 0 kung walang documentary reports. Sabi nga, dapat hindi na tayo maglagay ng 0 kasi hindi makakaakyat sa National Validation Committee or even to the region kung wala pong mga documentary reports, no? That's my opinion, my personal opinion. Ang isa pong mahalagang indicator dito po sa criteria ng organization ay yung pong track record. At ang track record po, this is number 2. Track record, 14 points po ang total nito. Sabi ko po dito, the nominee must have a proven track record of at least 3 years in DRRM programs, activities in the area where they indicate their work base among others. CSO's accomplishments are recognized in the form of awards, citations, or recognition, and this can be on other categories such as food and security and livelihood, health, etc. Yun pong kanilang matatanggap ng mga citations or commendations, for example, ay pwede naman po sa ibang uh, uh, area, no? Kunwari, binigyan sila ng mga citations, not necessarily for DRR, pero makikita po ninyo na kasama po ito sa iba't iba pang kategorya, katulad ng food and security, pati na po ng livelihood or health. Given by the partners in the barangays or municipality, city, provincial LGUs. Di po ba? So, nare-recognize sila. So, ang una dyan po ay yung accreditation, certification from the national government agencies. Napakadami po niyan. Pati po local government agencies or the local government units, no? And of course, other sectors or organizations and institutions. A total po yan ay 14 points. Ang 2.2 ay citation naman na ibinibigay, put it up please, 2.2 citations or DRRM accomplishments, pero binibigyan po ito in the field of DRRM. So the CSOs recognized and awarded by the following national agencies, etc. Pareho din po. Pero ang certification recognition in the field of DRRM, maximum of 5 points. Okay? Ito pong 2.3, nilagyan na po natin ng time frame. Within 3 years of service, kailangan mapakita po na meron po silang operations or work through programs, projects, or activities in DRRM and climate change adaptation. So, paano po makikita yon yung minimum of 3-year track record? Makikita po natin ito sa audited financial reports. No? So, maximum of 4 points. Pag napakita po nila ay 1, ang financial reports audited by an independent certified public accountant covering a period of at least 3 years. Annually naman po yung ino-audit na financial report. So within the past 3 years, at least 3 years, kailangan po mapakita nila na meron po silang uh, audited financial report. Ang number 2 po ay meron pong makikita, second bullet, can you go up a bit? Written progress or annual reports. Annual reports naman po ang tinitingnan dito. No, so meron pong reflecting their active engagement in the past 3 years. 2 points, 2 points. So, isa po ay audited financial reports, at ang isa po ay progress annual reports. Sabi nila, pwede naman daw pag-isahin, pero we're giving it 2 points. I have come across organizations giving or presenting only progress reports, no? Nasa auditor pa ang kanilang financial reports na ino-audit pa. So, titingnan nyo na lang po kung alin ang dapat mabigyan ng maximum of 4 points. Okay? Second po ay yung ating tinatawag na second indicator. Criteria yata. Second, accreditation, registration, and membership for a maximum of 20 points, a total of 20 points. Ano po ang ibig sabihin nito? Active participation and involvement in DRRM, CCA, programs, projects, activities of the national government agencies, local government units, pati na po ng mga network organizations. So, eto po, makikita nyo, ang maximum of 7 points ay magbibigay lang dun sa registered. Registration of the organization para siya po ay makapag-participate in PPAs. No? Ito pong registration na to ay ginagawa ng madaming CSOs sa different national and local government agencies. Sa DSWD, kunwari kung gusto nila ma-involve sa relief operations. Pag naman sa mga koordinasyon, dun po sila magpaparegister sa DILG. At kung ang usapin naman po ay sa mga pamamahay or resettlements or settlements and urban development, sa DSUD po yan. Pag gusto po nila makasama sa mga pangtrabaho o labor, DOLE. Pag tungkol naman sa kanila pong mga businesses, trade and industry. Pag gusto mo pong sumama sa mga National Anti-Poverty Commission, ito po ay commission ng gobyerno na tinatag para tingnan alin ba ang marginalized or vulnerable sectors in the community, alin po ang pinaka-vulnerable. At dito po sa commission ito na pag-uusapan ng mga polisiya to address their vulnerability or ano po ang nararapat gawin para sa mga sektor na ito. So maximum of 7 points yan. Ang second po under the accreditation, ayun naman pong masiselect, din nagpa-register na sila at sila po ay nandoon na sa roster of accredited civil society organizations. Uh, Maaari po silang sumali para sila ay maselect to be a representative to the national or regional, local DRRM Council. Diyan po ay iba na po ang participation level nila, kumbaga, no? Active participation and involvement in DRRM CCA programs and activities of the local DRRM Council, maximum of 7 points. Kailangan pong maliban sa registration, member sila sa CSO, sila ay ma-accredit ng mga ilang accrediting bodies at pagkatapos sila po ay na-select pa. So leveled up na talaga yung kanilang participation sa local government unit, no? And this is through the local DRRM councils down the line. So hanggang makapakita niya na meron naman siyang 3 points nga lang kung may accreditation pero hindi siya na select na magiging representative sa council. Yan po ang number 2, accreditation. Meron pa pong third, ito pong membership with any active involvement in DRRM related network organizations. Hindi na po ito sa gobyerno, pero pwede niyang ipakita na meron pa rin siyang uh, involvement sa local government unit, meron pong iba't ibang, sa isang pamahalaan ay madami pong network organizations. So magandang ipakita niya na siya ay member ng isang DRRM network na pwede pong meron pong magbibigay ng executive order or isang ordinansa pa rin, no? Or resolution showing membership to the national, regional, local organizations. And then, 0 kung wala talagang membership and no involvement. Pero sabi ko nga, pag 0 points, talagang hindi na siya dapat makapasok sa regional validation, di ba? Sa selection na yan, level. Okay. Ay, sandali. Bakit siya nakalagay dito ay 6 points? We'll go back to this, no? Bakit 6 points ang nakasulat na maximum? In my record, it's maximum of 6 points. Dapat yata 6 points yun dun sa kaliwa. Sa 4 points executive order, dapat po ay 6 points yan. Okay, the third criteria, institutional capacities. Meron bang kapasidad ang organisasyon as an institution on DRRM, CCA? So, ang kapasidad na tinitingnan natin ay skills and competence of personnel. Pero bago po yan, ang sinabi po natin dito, ang mga personnel po ng organisasyon, ang mga staff, ang mga uh, kasama dun sa kanyang organisasyon ng civil society, ay dapat po ay trained. Siya po ay merong kapasidad para magbigay ng training. Pero siya, dapat na-train muna, no? Trained on Basic Life Support, BLS. Kailangan po na-train din siya sa Family Preparedness Plan. Paano ba ginagawa itong Family Preparedness Plan? At dapat pong nakatumaan din po siya sa barangay DRRM or contingency planning for local government officials. Dumaan din dapat siya sa isang business continuity plan or yung tinatawag natin public sector continuity plan or any related DRRM CCA training. Yung pong mga training programs or courses may be provided by the OCD or conducted under OCD supervision. Skills or capacity building activities or trainings may be conducted or provided by any other government agencies. For example, ang DSUD, nagbibigay po yan ng SIDRA. Pwede din po na pwede din po ng MGB, DER, DNR, para po yung kanila sa project ready, no? Among others, madami po yan. The CSOs may or may not take a training of trainers. Pwede pong may TOT capability ang CSO. Kasi lahat naman po yata ng binibigay nila ay diretso na sa community members who are vulnerable to hazardous events. So, ang number one po under institutional capacities, the skills and competence of the personnel. So, maximum of 8 points. Ang dapat po, ang personnel or the staff members assigned in the CSO should have should have undergone three basic skills on capacity building activities. So, sana meron pong certificates of participation or attendance or certificate of completion from the trainings or the workshops, no? Basta po related sa DRRM. Dapat po ay magpakita din po siya na meron silang kapasidad na mag-conduct ng training or provide trainings on CBDRM, BLS, family preparedness plan, etc. So dito po ay have conducted, no? So hindi lang kapasidad ng personnel na mabigna nakapag-train na siya, pero siya din ay kailangan mag-conduct or mag-provide ng training activities, no? Sa institutional capacities ay ang pagkakaroon ng mga programa, plans, policies, programs, and services with emphasis on community-based disaster risk reduction and management, and of course, climate change adaptation. Within the past 3 years, dapat po meron po silang policies, plans, programs. No? Maximum of 8 points po iyan. Tapos, ang number 3 po natin ay ang logistics, 14 points. Total of 14 points. Ano po ang nasa logistics? Andiyan dyan po ang pondo, office equipment, or communication facilities, transportation, and the capacity to have stockpile or storage. Pondo, with adequate funds to support the implementation of PPAs, maximum of 4 points. Pag siya po ay talagang may kapasidad na meron siyang adequate funds. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng adequate funds? Sapat na kakayanan, lalo na sa pondo, para po makapagpatupad ng mga projects or programs or activities, no? Na makikita po na ang burn rate, yung paano ba niya ginagamit ang pera vis-a-vis the money they have on hand. Yung pera nila, paano po ginagastos para sa DRRM, CCA projects, activities and programs, no? Maximum of 4 points po yan. Doon sa 3.2, hindi lang sa pondo, dapat may pakita po na may available and functional office equipment and communication facilities. Kailangan makita natin kung meron na ho ba silang equipment, lalo na po sa pag-communicate, no? And communication facilities, dapat po itong inventory na to ay properly documented with photo, video support siguro, no? Kasi mahirap naman po tumakbo ang opisina kung wala po silang functional and available resources such as office equipment. Computers, ganun po. Mga paano po nila pinatatakbo ang kanilang mga programa. Lalo na po sa communication facilities. Ang 3.3 ay ang transportation, availability of transportation or mobility assets. Okay, maximum of 2 points. Inventory lang po yan, so kailangan po makita. Pero kung tingin ninyo ay meron nga sila available and accessible transportation, for example, maganda din pong makita na meron silang arrangements with service providers for additional mobility assets during emergency. Yan po yung meron silang makikipag-partner sa may kunwari ho flyer ng ng mga sasakyan, lalo na po during emergency, no? Meron pong makikita ninyo kung meron pong letter of agreement or memorandum of understanding. One point lang po, pag mapakita nila na meron silang available assets, pero may kulang ng konti. Wala pa silang mapakitang masyadong nakalagay dito, available mobility assets with providers. So wala silang access sa mga transportasyon, pero meron naman silang MOU, MOA sa mga service providers. In other words, mga CSOs, maaari sigurong walang masyadong madaming vehicles or means of transportation, but they have naman memorandum agreements with service providers na magbibigay po sa kanila ng access to transportation, lalo na po pag may emergency situations. No? The same way, pag dun mo sa 3.4, stockpile and storage facilities. Sana po meron po silang available stockpile of food and non-food items. Pwede natin po tingnan kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng ano ba ang stockpile ng sa LTMCO. Kailangan din po makita natin kung may available na storage facilities, no? At meron din po bang available na arrangement? Meron ba silang arrangement, existing arrangements with suppliers or service providers for additional stocks or storage facilities? Maximum of 2 points, no? Okay. So, for sustainability, the last criteria, ito po yung mapapakita sa atin na sila ay pwede pong magpatuloy ng kanilang mga programa at saka mga serbisyo under DRRM and CCA, lalo na po nung nakaraang past few years, no? At meron pong clear indicators or indications of how the PPAs may be continued within the next 2 years. So within the span of 3 years plus 2 years, kaya nilang mapatakbo yung kanilang opisina or ang civil society organization. How do you look for this? What MOVs do we look for? Mga plans and programs po ito, no? Dapat meron silang mga after activity reports, photo documentation within the past 3 years, no? With clear indicators of how PPAs may be continued for the next 2 years. Makikita din po ito sa kanila pong mga strategic plans. Ito po yung sa second bullet. Kailangan makita ninyo ang kanilang strategic plans. Meron ba silang long-range plan, long-term plans para mapakita naman na they will continue the programs in the next 2 years, no? At maganda rin po na meron silang mapakita na monitoring, evaluation, and learning tools. M&E, may dinagdag lang kami sa CSOs na learning, no? Aside from monitoring and evaluation, natututo tayo. So what do we do after that? May action dyan dapat. So ito yung mga tools. Kung may mapakita sila sa atin na monitoring and evaluation tools, then we will get higher points, 2 points. Ito po ay will provide evidence on assessing effectiveness and impact of programs within the past 3 years. And of course, doon naman po sa last point, kung meron pong mapakita na doon sa kanilang plano na meron po silang mga advocacy and networking plan, communication plan, paano po ba nila mapapagpatuloy ang kanilang programa in the next 2 years? May isa pa kaming hinabol dyan, yung documentation of best practices. Not only the documentation, no? Dapat napopularize o napapakita. There's a sharing of best practices through IEC materials, conduct of and participation in conferences, etc. Dapat po mapakita na very active sila sa mga sa mga activities such as this, wherein they can popularize. Pwede po nilang maikwento, ma-share ang kanila pong best practices. No? Okay. And second ay yung pong coordination. Coordination, partnership, participation, mechanisms with national, local government agencies. Paano po ba mapapakita to? Through MOA, MOU ulit. No? At dapat mapakita na meron pong ginagawa with the local government units, pwede po sa mga province, city, munisipyo, etc. So, pwede pong mapakita na meron din na outside MOU with LGUs in its area of operations, within the area of operations, or outside of its workplace. So, lumalawak na siya. 2 points po. Balikan ko yung number 1 bullet. The first bullet, it said, no, sorry, tama yon. The first bullet says, tama po yun, tama yun. Yung pong uh, preparedness and response and CCA. Ibig sabihin po, itong 1 point ay pinakikita po kung saan ba siya nagiging active na pillar, no? Sa ating pong thematic pillars, where is this civil society organization very participative, no? At nagkakaroon po siya ng participation, no? So, on DRRM preparedness and response and climate change adaptation. 1 point. Yung pong second bullet, operations niya within the area, yung kanyang workplace, or even outside of its workplace. 2 points po yun, no? At ang mahalaga rin ay yung kanyang mga agreements, no? Or memorandum of understanding, kumbaga, with the national, local government agencies. And of course, with the other networks. Lalong-lalo na po at sila po ay from the civil society sector. So, kung siya ay meron pong ganyan din, LOA, letter of agreement, meron siyang active participation with other networks or NGOs, ayan na po, 2 points. Okay, the third is the submission of accomplished reports. Mahalaga po na ang kanila pong mga accomplishment reports ay na-share nila sa kanilang accrediting agencies like the DSWD, for example. Meron po dapat na i-share sa local DRRM Council, 2 points, at saka yung mga presence of accomplishment reports submitted din po sa other non-government organizations. Definitely po, ito po mga submission of reports ay importante para ho hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng duplication or redundancy, especially in the implementation of the many government or non-government programs, projects, and activities. Kasi kung minsan nga naman, isang lugar lang na bubuhusan ng madaming interventions. Meron namang lugar na kakapirangot, no? So with the reports, makikita natin na there are areas still to be covered. Yan. So lahat pong yan, a total of 100 points. Meron pa ba nakalagay sa checklist? I think that's the summary. Organization, 30 points. Accreditation and membership, 20 points. At tapos, yun pong ating institutional capacities, 30 points. Sustainability, 20 points. Madali lang po, di ba? So, maganda pong atin pong ma-encourage ang ating regional OCD, ating partners po from the different agencies, makapag-encourage po ng madaming non-government organizations, especially within the civil society organization, na sila po ay makasama sa Gawad Kalasag. CJ, can you go back to my PowerPoint? Madami pong comments, issues and concerns na nilabas, no? I'd like to highlight this. Ang sabi po doon sa mga issues and concerns, and I'd like to mention this now. kasi meron pong nagtanong, what office is or are expected or anticipated to exceed number of members in the LDRIMC? Kasi po ang LDRIMC, lahat ng participants natin ay galing sa region, regional office, OCD regional offices, pati po sa mga members ng local DRRM councils. Tama po ba? Am I right to assume that the participants now in this activity ay lahat po galing sa regional validation committees? Am I right? Pwede pong pakilagay sa chat box kung tama po ba? Kasi may nagtanong po, what office is expected or anticipated to exceed number of members in the local DRRM Council? Ilan po ba ang members ng local DRRM Council? Oo, yes ma'am, sabi ni Pongkaraga. Si Sikap. Sikap is a CSO. Hi, Lona. In other words, pwede pong dumami ang CSOs. Name lang ba ng CSOs and POs ang kailangang i-reflect sa ordinance? Need to reflect the name of the representatives or head of the CSOs and POs? So, yan po ang kanilang tanong. Name lang po ba? Kasi pag nilalagay nyo representative sa local DRRM Council, baka pangalan lang. Ito pong nilagay dito under 5.2.2. Of course, you are familiar with the GK, with the National DRRM Council Memorandum Circular number 07, series of 2022. Alam po ninyo yon, NDRRMC Memorandum Circular number 07, series of 2022. Yan po ang guidelines. Inisyu po ng NDRIMC guidelines for the selection of representatives from the civil society organizations and the private sector to the national, regional, and local disaster risk reduction management councils. So under 5.2.2, if ever LDRIMCs can satisfy representation of the private sector, pwede bang CSO ang mag-represent for them? So itong dalawang tanong na to ay finoward sa atin ng mga regional offices, pati po ng regional validation committees. So, dun sa una pong tanong, name lang po ba ng CSOs or POs ang kailangang i-reflect? Hindi po pwedeng pangalan lang ng tao, no? Need to reflect the name of the representatives. No, you have to put the name of the organization ng CSO or people's organization. Pwede po niyong idagdag yung pangalan kung sino po ang head. Pero definitely, you need to put the name of the civil society organization, the people's organization. Dapat pong ilagay ang pangalan ng organisasyon. Okay? Ngayon po, sa second tanong, pwede bang CSO ang mag-represent kung wala pong hindi masatisfy ang representation of the private sector? Dito po sa 2.2, 5.2.2, nakalagay po national, regional, local DRRM councils that cannot satisfy the representation of the private sector or any of the four categories of CSO representatives by reason of unavailability or non-application thereof, may allow other applicants from other categories as mentioned in subsection 5.2.1 to occupy the seats in the council. Yun pong apat na CSO representatives ay dapat nagre-represent ng apat na categories. Isa po ay academe or independent research institute, no? The other category, magdapat po siya nagre-represent ng faith-based. Ang isa pa po ay nagre-represent ng NGO or PO. At ang isa po, representative from professional organizations, foundations, or community-based organizations, CBOs. Kunwari po, kakaunti ang CSO sa isang lugar at madami po, kakaunti po ang NGO or faith-based. Pwede pong dagdagan na lang natin ang CSO participation kahit manggaling sa ibang category. Okay? Kahit po may dalawa tayong faith-based or meron po tayong tatlong NGO or meron po tayong dalawa pang foundations, pwede po. Okay? Pati din daw po ang private sector. Kung wala pong mailagay na representation from the private sector, pwede din pong kumuha from the CSO categories, no? Nandiyan yan sa next slide. Sige nga, next slide. Yan. If hindi complete ang required CSO reps, automatic zero ba ang score? Ay opo. But in the rating, bakit may variable? Zero talaga po pag walang hindi complete ang required. Dalawa lang ang nilagay. Incomplete po yon. Tatlo lang incomplete po sa CSOs. Kailangan pong at least apat sila. Pwedeng dumami, pero wag pong magkukulang. Okay? Required ba sila na maging member? Opo, di ba dun sa atin pong accreditation, dun po sa second criteria, dapat po sila ay registered, dapat po sila ay merong accreditation, meron po silang membership, no? Hindi naman po sila makakapasok sa local DRRM councils kung hindi po sila accredited, hindi po sila certified. Pag wala po yon, hindi po sila magiging member. Ayaw po nila. Ay, bakit kaya ayaw? So, siguro, tingnan natin kung bakit ayaw po nila. But this has been ongoing, so maaari pong nabigyan na natin ng assistance ang ating mga CSOs para po sila makapasok sa local DRRM councils at para po very active ang kanilang gagawing partisipasyon sa DRRM implementation. Ano? Next po. Next slide. So, dapat 5 CSOs ang meron sila. Mag-suffice yung kulang na private sector. I would say yes and no. Yes, dapat, hindi dapat, no? Hindi nga 5 lang eh. Basta meron pong at least 4 CSOs, civil society organizations. Maaari pong maging 5, maging 6, maging 7, at least 4 CSOs. Kung kulang ang private sector, pwede pong dagdagan. Pero sana merong pong representation ang private sector para po merong private sector representative sa ating local DRRM council. Ang private sector representative po ay dapat nagre-represent ng organisasyon. Shall come from the private sector organizations or chamber of commerce organized at the national, regional, and local levels were available. In other words, hindi naman po pwede na si businessman, kunwari po si businessman Adelina Alvarez, may-ari po ng hardware, ay maging representative. Sana po si Adelina ay member ng isang Chamber of Commerce or member siya ng isang samahan ng mga uh, businessmen, no? Okay na kaya? O sige. Next po. Wala na yata dito. Tapos na ako dyan. Sa POs, dadagdag ko na kaagad ang POs. My time is up to 3 p.m., 2:24 na. Yes, POs. Katulad po ng nabanggit ko, ang POs or People's Organization, next slide, ay kasama po sa definition ng ating civil society organization. And the DRRNet Philippines, my organization, my network, is truly happy and honored na ang GK po ay merong category for people's organizations. Okay? Nawala. Ang people's organization, ano ba ang people's organization? Meron na po tayong definition nito defined under RA 8475 or the Social Reform and Poverty Alleviation Act of 1997. Ano po ang sinabi doon? Next slide. Na ang people's organizations daw po ay yung pong local, grassroots level sila po ay marginalized or the disadvantaged sectors. Pero dapat din po yung organisasyon ay meron pong set of officers, meron pong leadership, may members and struktura. Meron din po silang kapasidad to promote public interest. Hindi lang basta sila ay nagkasama-sama, nagpatipon-tipon, sila ay tinatawag ng people's organization. Dapat po naman ay merong organizational or institutional structure. Merong leader, may member, at meron talaga pong kapasidad to promote public interest. Definitely, sila po ay nagre-represent ng disadvantaged sectors. So, sino po ba yung mga members na yan? Can you go to the next slide? Ito po ang checklist, no? Pero people's organization po, as mentioned in the dapat po sila ay nakakasama dun sa 14 basic sectors na tinatawag natin na binigay po yan ng RA 8475, the Social Reform or Poverty Alleviation Act of 1997. 14 basic sectors ang nabanggit, no? I mentioned ang 14 po ay women, children and youth, kasama po ang indigenous peoples or cultural communities, the elderly or the senior citizens, children or youth, nabanggit ko na ba yon? Fisher folks, farmers, laborers or from the uh, formal sector. Yan po yung mga nagtatrabaho sa mga opisina or from the informal sector. And then kasama na rin po ang persons with disability. I think I'm mentioning 10 already. So kulang pa ako ng 4. Pati po kooperatiba kasama. Non-government organization kasama rin. Kasama na rin po ang community-based organizations, no? Okay, 30 minutes. 8425 ba yun? Hindi 75. Thank you, Miss Loreto. Si Sir Loreto ng Mimaropa, Neva. So, ito po ang ating mga hahanapin sa people's organizations. Ang organizational profile nila, no? So, again, kailangan po makita yung kanilang vision, mission, and goal. Siguro habang hinahanap, as I mentioned, 3 lang naman po ang, 4, I mean, ang criteria. Meron lang binanggit si Sikap Name of organization lang, no name. Kasi nagbabago ang heads in the council and this will be validated in the certificate. Yes, kung pwedeng name of organization. Yung iba kasi nagbibigay ng pangalan ng organisasyon, sinasama nila yung pangalan. But you will see that within the certification or resolution, sino ba ang mga nilalagay, no? Tayo naman po ay ina-assess natin yung the past 3 years. So, kailangan natin matingnan. Thank you, uh, Ilona. PO, kailangan din natin matingnan ang kanilang organisasyon. Ano bang klaseng organization ito? Ano ang kanilang mandato? So makikita yan usually sa kanilang DMG, the vision, mission, and goals. Pakidagdagan nyo, letter S yan. Goals, no? And ang maximum po natin ito ay 10 points. The VMG are aligned with the promotion of disaster risk reduction. Opo, kasi tayo ay nagkagawad kalasag and this is definitely for tawag nito, we are for the promotion of disaster risk reduction and management and also climate change adaptation. So sana ang kanilang VMG ay hindi naman tungkol sa ibang advokasya nila, no? Dapat po ay nasa promotion of disaster risk reduction. Ito po sa checklist, andiyan po yung 14 basic sectors. Maximum of 4 points. Kailangan din natin makita yung kanilang organizational structure. Ang ibig sabihin nito, meron po ba silang, sino po ang leader, sino ang mga members, dapat po ay meron silang komite o kahit isa man lang point person for DRRM. Yung pong kanilang struktura, makikita ito sa kanilang tawag mo, go up please, meron pong elected officers, merong members, pero sana wag naman silang mas kukonti pa sa 10. Can you go up? Yes, pataas, please. 15 of not less than 15. Baka naman po ay less than 15. Sana ay hindi sila makakapasok sa GK. Dapat po ay merong komite or isang focal person for DRRM or climate change adaptation. Paglapat, lahat po na nabanggit natin sa criteria ay meron sila 2 points po yon. Pero kung dalawa lang, meron sila pong officers, pero meron pong membership, pero wala namang komite or focal person, ay 1 point lang dyan. Okay? Dapat po tingnan talaga kung bakit ba sila tinatag, no? Should be evaluated against the purpose of the organization. Bakit pa sila nandiyan dyan? For the promotion sana of DRRM and climate change adaptation. Ang isa pa pong titingnan, maliban po sa kanilang vision and mission and goals, maliban sa organizational structure, ay yung pong geographical area of work. Ito po yung tinatawag natin, saan ba nakalocate, no, ang kanilang opisina or baka naman meron silang operations na malawak-lawak, no? ang ang scope of operations na tinatawag natin, define the area of operations with a number of staff members implementing DRRM and PPAs, no? DRRM projects, programs, and activities. Kuminsan tawag nila PAPs, pero it's also PPAs, no? Next, down. Aside from the geographical area, papasok na tayo dun sa tinatawag na track record. That's the second criteria. Meron din dapat silang accreditation, certification, any form po of recognition or citation, no? From national government agencies, pwede din po from the LGU, etc. Remember, ito po ay people's organization na. So most probably, doon na po tayo papasok sa city, municipality, barangay. Maganda rin po kung meron silang certification from the national government agencies. I have come across people's organizations na meron din po galing po sa national government agencies, no? Okay, 5 points, maximum of 5 points po yun. At second, sa track record po, ay ang recognition or citation din na kanila pong matatanggap. No? Maaaring din po ito from the NGAs, maximum din po ito 5 points. Yung 2.2, go up please. Nilagay din natin dito, recognition, citation, and awards in the field of humanitarian assistance, DRR, MCCA, and volunteerism. Mababasa naman po ninyo na ito pong citation or recognition ay binibigay po ito sa organisasyon gawa po ng kanilang trabaho o kanila pong mga proyekto on DRRMCCA, pati na po ng volunteerism. No? Of course, kailangan din po natin tingnan, and that's the last from the track record, yung years of existence. Paano na po ba siya katagal no, nag-ooperate? Kailangan po natin makita ang kanyang mga programa. So, ang MOVs nito ay titingnan po ang kanilang mga strategic plans, mga dokumento, maaaring magpakita sa activity reports. Dapat sana may mga attendance sheets na mapapakita, mga pictures, kung meron. Uso naman na ngayon ang ating mga cellphone na may mga cameras. So, maganda pong mapakita kung sila po ay nag-i-implement ng mga ganitong proyekto. Maximum of 5 points po yan. Yung next indicator, DRRM-CCA plan, bakit napakalaki naman ang punto na binigay dito? 50 points. Bakit po? Kasi po meron pong more or less, I think, seven mini or sub criteria na titingnan dyan sa tawag natin DRRM-CCA plan. DRRM-CCA plan ang number 1. There should be a clear, enumerated, and approved DRRM-CCA plan showing all or any of the 4 thematic areas. Dapat po gumagalaw sila dun sa 4 nating disaster pillars. Dapat po ay meron silang programa para sa prevention and mitigation, meron din programa sa disaster preparedness, meron din para sa disaster response, at meron din pong disaster rehabilitation and recovery. So maximum of 8 points po yun. Pag pinakita lang po nila ay 3 lang pong thematic areas, 6 points, no? Dapat po ay approve yung kanilang mga plan ng kanilang Board of Trustees, no? Covering 3 thematic areas. So makikita naman po ito sa kanilang mga plano, no? Ang kanilang mga strategic plans or annual plan, kailangan mapakita po na kung saan sila gumagalaw sa mga thematic areas. So kung 2 lang o 1 lang, maliit-liit po na points ang kanilang ibibigay. 8, maximum of 8 points. The second sub-criteria ay yung kapasidad or expertise of the staff. No? Like the CSO category, kailangan din mapakita na may kapasidad yung people's organization to implement or execute programs. No? Pakitaas, programs, merong kapasidad po ang organisasyon nila para mag-implement. Sige nga, pakitaas. At sila po ay nabigyan na dapat ng capacities or skills, no? May expertise sila. Can you go up, please? 3.2, organization, may lumampas ng konti. Organizational capacities or expertise. May kapasidad po silang mag-implement or mag-execute ng programs, etc. At least 5 staff members assigned to do DRRM work are trained and capacitated to respond and provide humanitarian assistance. At least 5 training certificates. Nabanggit natin doon sa taas, no, na ang training ay maaari pong binigay ng OCD or nasusupervise ng OCD, pwede pong bigay ng other organizations, basta po meron pong basbas ang OCD using mostly their templates, for example, or their modules, no? 3 points lang kung ang training na na-undergo nila ay to respond and provide humanitarian assistance, at least only 3 training certificates down the line. Pakonti ng pakonti, no? Yung isa, 5 staff members are assigned to do the RRM work and are trained. Yung pong 2 points, staff members assigned to do the RRM work are trained. Only 3 to 4 staff members. Siyempre po, pag isa lang o dalawang staff members lang ang nabigyan ng training, ay 1 point na lang yan, no? Okay, so sa organizational capacities and skills, no? Yun naman pong 3.3, timely and appropriate delivery of the RRM services. This is actually referring to paano po ba nakapagbibigay ng serbisyo ang ating mga people's organization, no? How fast can the PO respond to their target community's needs? So, maaaring hindi lang ito tumulong sa pagresponde kung merong panahon ng disaster, pero baka naman tingnan natin, i-assess natin ang mga reasons why service was provided on a specific time, causing some delays, for example. So, for example, yung kunwari kailangan evacuate, baka nakatulong sila doon, ay maximum 5 points kung talagang within the disaster period nangyari, no? Yan po ang 3.3, timely and appropriate delivery of DRRM CCA services. Yung pong 3.4, ito po ay yung, tawag mo, human resources and fund mobilization. This refers to the availability of sufficient logistics, no? Equipment, facilities, financial resources even, no? Kaya naman po ito ay malaki, 10 points, kasi dapat po pinakikita nila yung availability and accessibility ng kanilang kakayanan, lalo na ang kanilang resources, no? It refers to the people's organization to carry out the RRM CCA activities, especially in times of extreme emergencies. Pwede din po sila magpakita ng mga letters or memorandum of agreement or understanding with partners, no, for logistical support. Hindi naman po natin sinasabi na hindi na po kayo limited ang kakayanan ninyo kasi kokonti ang inyong resources. Pero mapapakita nila ito na meron po silang kakayanang makipag-agreement sa mga service providers or sa mga local government units or agencies na pwedeng tumulong po sa kanila at magbigay ng karapat-dapat na support when it comes to logistical concerns like equipment, kunwari po sa transportasyon or sa anong bang tawag natin doon sa walkie-talkie, yung mga sa radio, mga radio po nila or sa mga kaperahan. Baka meron pong magbibigay sa kanila in times of these extreme emergencies, no? So, kaya yan po ay may 10 points na maximum. Yung 3.5, monitoring and evaluation plan. Dapat din po makita natin na meron silang tinatawag na M&E. Monitor kung paano ang kanilang implementasyon at in-evaluate din, no? Tama po ba ang kanilang pagkagawa ng mga programa? Nakikita nila kung ano ang impact ng kanilang programa sa mga target communities. Ito po ay mapapakita natin when they have a documentation, no? May mga signed reports, pictures, meron pong reports nila na makakapagpatunay na sila ay merong monitoring and evaluation plan. Yes. 3.5. 3.6 naman refers to participation, no? Participation of the members of the people's organization. Saan? Saan po ang kanilang participation? Dun po sa mga kanilang ginagalawan na community, no? Paano ba sila nakikilahok, no, sa mga community members? At paano naman ang mga community members ay nagpa-participate sa kanilang mga programa? Lalong-lalo na kung ito po ay tungkol sa mga risk assessments, or planning ng kanilang mga DRRM, community-based DRRM plans, or paano nila ini-encourage ang mga community na gumawa ng mga family preparedness plan, or kahit po mga continuity plan. Yung mga ganun po ay kailangan mapakita nila na ang mga miyembro ng community, target community nila, ay talaga pong actively participating in their programs, no? Maximum of 12 points, mahalaga ho ito sa atin. 3.7 ay yan naman po ay capacity development. Refers to the capability of the organization to stimulate and develop capacities through continuous training, upgrading of skills of the staff members. Pati na po ng baka dapat pakita that they are regularly uh, undergoing skills, no? Provided the PO has provided regularly skills and capacity building activities. So, yung trainings po nila ay hindi lang po dapat sa staff nila, pati na po sa labas, no? They are doing the capacity building para rin po sa kanilang community or partner organizations, no? Maximum of 5 points. Pag wala naman pong training or skills building activities provided to the staff, parang kulang din po yun. Kaya 0. Kasi pag yung capacity development ng organisasyon ay tuloy-tuloy po ang kanilang skills development, ayun po ay ibabalik ng staff sa kanila pong target communities. Okay? Number 4 and the last criteria is the accomplishment. Diyan po ay meron tayong, pero CJ, mamaya palitan niyo yung 5.1. Dapat yan ay 4.1. Accomplishment on DRRM enumerated. Ito po yung sinasabi natin. Kung maaari ay related activities undertaken in the past 3 years, with documentation covering all 4 thematic areas. May have also produced and popularized IEC materials on DRRM for public awareness. So, kung maaari, ay sila po ay patuloy na gumagalaw dun sa ating 4 thematic areas. Pati na po covering in the past 3 years, undertaken in the last 3 years. Okay? Doon po sa 4.2 sa baba, the level of preparedness and the capacity to respond in emergency situation. Dapat po ay may high level of preparedness of the organization to respond given the different hazards. Documentation of response activities to show knowledge and skills among others. Pakikita na po nila kung paano sila nagre-responde sa isang emergency situation or disaster situation. Pakikita na nila na sila po ay nakapag-undergo ng mga kung ano-anong trainings or capacity building exercises or activities. Yung pong kanilang knowledge and skills ay, lalo na po sa preparedness, ay talaga na nila mapapakita maximum of 5 points. Yung pong limited knowledge, meron naman pong konti. pero pinakikita din nila na yung risk and exposure to the hazards which the organization encountered during the emergency situation, limited knowledge and skills, no? So, syempre, kung kayo po ay nakapag-undergo ng mga trainings, ay malaki ang inyong kaalaman, malaki ang inyong ma-share sa inyong target communities, for example. Pero kung limited knowledge, ay di 3 points lang po ang ating mailalagay. At kung lack of knowledge talaga, walang masyadong skills, lalo na po on preparedness or on emergency response, ay zero talaga. No? 4.3, early recovery and post-disaster rehabilitation. Yes, how the People's Organization handled situations such as early recovery or post-disaster rehabilitation. Doon na ho tayo tutungo sa uh, nakita na nila, nag-handle na sila po ay nag-participate na sa mga disaster preparedness or disaster response. Ilang members po tayo sa council, local DRRM council? If I'm not mistaken, 16. Ngayon, pero dun sa isang slot na para po sa CSOs, di po ba madami? Ayan po, oh, more than 4 CSOs, pwede pong maging more than 1 PO, kaya po nag-i-exceed ang 16 mandatory offices. So, ibig sabihin po, pwede pong more than 4 CSOs ang maging members ng local council. Maaari din pong more than 1 PO. Okay? So, I hope mas madaming pumasok na civil society organization. Okay? Activities, paano naman ngayon tungkol sa early recovery or sa post-disaster rehabilitation? Sila po ba ay may participation sa ganyan? Diyan po papasok ang documentation of cases, no? Sa meron pong habang sila ay conducting emergency response. They have a good coordination and cooperation with other response organizations, lalong-lalo na po sa LGU. Yung coordination nila, ano po ang kanilang participation. So, mapapakita yan sa kanilang mga after activity reports, no? Meron din siguro silang documentation ng mga lessons learned. Okay? Yes. Pati po dyan sa 4.4, documentation of lessons learned na pwede ho nilang i-share. So ito yung sharing. Dito papasok yung sharing of practices. Presence of post-activity reports, documenting the challenges encountered and how these were addressed. So kunwari, nakita nila na mahirap ang tinatawag nating preemptive evacuation, hindi nila na they were not able to carry out yung kanilang mandato na makapag-rescue in time, ay pwede ho nilang ilagay, i-document. Pero klaro ho dito, dapat dito ay merong sharing of the uh, lessons, no? And to show that the lessons can be addressed, for example, para ho for replication na po ito. So, yung documentation ng lessons learned dito, kung maaari, ay may sharing of experiences, practices. Dito po sa documented DRRMCCA lessons learned in the past 3 years, semicolon, sharing of practices ang dapat po dyan. A total of 25 points for accomplishment. 256. O yan. Meron pa tayong 4 seconds para ho ah, meron po bang magtatanong? May gusto pang magtanong? We are now 222 participants, medyo nabawasan. Pero I hope you were able to understand better kung paano po natin i-assess ang ating mga civil society organizations, pati na po ang people's organizations. Yes, I'm happy nandiyan dyan ang sikap. Sana madami pang NGOs or civil society representatives dito po sa activity na ito, orientation and cascading of the guidelines. Okay, so kung wala na po, ako po'y tatahimik muna. Very happy and really honored to be able to share whatever information may help you in the assessment of the CSO and the PO categories. Salamat po. Signing off.
Thank you so much, Miss G.
Thank you too.
So before we officially end today's session po, may we kindly request everyone to stay for a few moments as we will have a photo opportunity. So please turn on your camera so we can document today's activity lang po. Thank you. So 5 panel po, yung makukunan po. So first panel muna po. Okay po, ready na po? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile po. Okay po, next panel po. Second panel.
Paano namin makita? Nakukunan kami.
Sila Lars po yung
Sige
po
po.
Sige po. Smile po. 1, 2, 3. And then third panel naman po. Isa pa po. Paki-open na lang daw po yung camera po. Yung sa third panel po. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, next po. Fourth panel. 1, 2, 3. And then lastly po, last panel. Okay po, 1, 2, 3. Okay po, thank you so much po.
Thank you.
So once
Thank
again
you.
po, thank you
Maraming
very
salamat.
much po to all our
Thank
participants
you
po
po.
for
Magandang
joining
hapon po.
us in today's online orientation. So as we continue with the cascading sessions po, we would like to remind everyone that day 2 of our activity will resume on April 14, Monday at 9 a.m. So we will be discussing the remaining categories under the special awards checklist, including the hospital category, higher education institution, government emergency response management, and private organization.